E-commerce may have given Africa its first unicorn. That's a firm with a $1 billion valuation. But for some firms, traditional store sales are still king. One of those is the multinational shoemaker Bata. The African markets it's an accounts for less than 15% of sales, with about 70% of its revenue coming from many other countries such as India, China, among other Asian countries, as well as Europe. Well, here's the great-grandson of the company's founder explaining why e-commerce hasn't taken off just yet.
So Nigeria we're not currently in. It's a market that we're very interested to enter, but none of the African countries are listed. They're all privately owned companies. If you talk about our main hubs, it's really Kenya and South Africa, and they support, Kenya is the hub for East Africa, which supports all the markets, Uganda and the surrounding countries, Malawi, etc., and South Africa, which supports, Botswana and Zimbabwe, Zambia, and those countries. I think at different points of time it was considered, and usually just out of some complexity of building an operating model in Nigeria. Things were continuously put on hold. We finally kind of turned that curve now. We believe the timing is right. We believe, like you said, the market is very interesting. It's the largest market in Africa, and I think increasingly so, right? It will increasingly become dominant as population dynamics favor it, as well as, as income increases. So it's very high on our priority list. We've already started doing tests in Nigeria, so you can already find our products in the market. And we'll be ramping that up over the next, few years. We'll be opening stores over the next year or so. And then, of course, starting to distribute through wholesale channels in the next year as well.